Good afternoon and welcome, students. Welcome, students, guests, members of the Board of Education, Superintendent Duca, and the faculty to the 2026 Ballston Spa High School Commencement Ceremony. We can clap. At this time, please rise for the playing of our national anthem performed by our high school ensemble. It is my pleasure to introduce our Student Government President, Karina DeCenzo, for the opening address.
Good afternoon. When we think of success, our mind usually goes to a perfect grade, a championship win, a leadership position, or a standing ovation after a performance. But if there is one thing that we have learned here at Ballston Spa, it is that success is not a one-size-fits-all measurement. I would like to say that success is like water. Water at the grocery store is a few dollars, about $10 here at SPAC, yet nothing at all as it falls from the sky. But the water itself is what not is changing, but only the value that we think it has. Success works the same way. Some of us found success in the classrooms. Many hours were spent at home studying for exams, and endless amounts of equations were solved. The reward was not always visible, but every lesson learned and challenge overcome is an achievement. Others found success on the field, track, or in the gym. Athletes know that strength and perseverance is built from long after-school practices and early mornings. Although resulting score may show otherwise, we know the real success comes from the work we put in to get there. Whether it was being part of a varsity sport or joining a unified team, each and every athlete achieved personal growth throughout their years as a Scotty. Many of us participated in clubs and volunteer activities. Whether it was taking on a leadership role, competing in academic competitions, or serving your community, each experience taught us how to be collaborative and inclusive. A title alone did not define us, but united us by the impact that we made on those around us. And for those involved in theater, the time taken to memorize lines, construct sets, and late-night rehearsals does not go unnoticed. The students on and off the stage, as well as the ones below it, helped create a performance that was bigger than themselves. Our achievements truly cannot be compared because they were never meant to be. The student who finally passed that test, the athlete who reached a personal goal, the volunteer who inspired others, and the performer who put themselves out there all experienced success. Each journey was different, but the end results are all equally meaningful. As graduates, we are entering a society that fuels off of comparison. We will see different careers, different definitions of what success really is. But today, we are reminded that the value of success is not defined by others, but by ourselves. It is not measured by appearance or recognition, but defined by growth, perseverance, and dedication, by the courage to pursue what you choose to do. So, as we leave here today, remember that every achievement deserves celebration. Each and every path taken to get to this day was different, but we sit here today next to our peers who have worked incredibly hard to be here at this moment. Your successes are unique, your accomplishments are real, and your future is here to be determined by you. Congratulations, class of 2026, and thank you. Now, I am honored to introduce your class of 2026 salutatorian, Nicholas Sharp.
Two years ago, I was discussing ways to improve participation on the robotics team with one of our mentors. He introduced me to a popular idea called the Pareto principle, better known as the 80-20 rule. It says that in a group, including everything from a robotics team to a football team to a whole high school, roughly 80% of the work is done by 20% of the people. When I first heard that, I assumed he was sorting people into two categories: those who are the 80% and those who are the 20%. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that wasn't the point. In reality, people move between those roles all the time. There are times when each of us is in the 80%, doing just what's expected. And there are times when each of us is in the 20%, stepping up in something that matters more personally to us. That could be in school, clubs, teams, or something completely different. And sometimes you haven't found the thing that pulls that out of you yet. One reason I like this interpretation of the 80-20 rule is that high school has given us a very narrow view of who people are. We spend 4 years measuring grades, test scores, and attendance, and while those things do matter, they're far from the only ways people can work hard. Some people have jobs after school. Some help take care of their families. Some are the people their friends rely on when things aren't going well. Some put all their energy into clubs or teams, and some are just being kind in any way they can, big or small. If you only look at a transcript, you'll miss all of those contributions. Some of the clearest examples of the Pareto principle aren't even students. They're the teachers who stay after school to help with extra questions, the coaches and mentors who give evenings and weekends to their team, and the parents who support us our whole lives. Most of what we've accomplished today was only possible because these people were willing to contribute far more than what was required of them. The common thread between them isn't who they are, it's that they chose to be in the 20% for the things that mattered to them. Many of these people didn't leave high school planning to be a teacher, a coach, or a mentor. But through a long process of trial and error, they found the place where they can step up, the place that matters to them. That's why it's important not to define ourselves too narrowly. The student who is known for athletics today may become an engineer. The student who loves science may discover a passion for teaching. And the student who isn't sure what comes next may end up making the biggest difference of all. We don't always choose where our opportunities come from, but we do get to choose whether we step up when they arrive. Whether you think you've found your passion already or not, the point I want to make to you is this: keep your mind open, because you won't always know where you'll make the biggest impact until you're already there. As we leave Ballston Spa, you shouldn't strive to be in the 20% all the time. Nobody can do that. Instead, I think the goal is to recognize when something excites you and be willing to give a little bit more than what's required. And that may happen in a career, in a family, in a friendship, a community, or somewhere else entirely. Wherever it happens, these choices are what end up defining us. We are all about to gain a lot more independence in our lives, and part of that is paying attention to the places where we naturally step up without being asked. Sometimes that will surprise you. With that, I'd like to introduce someone who has been an amazing friend and classmate to me and all of you, our valedictorian and class president, Lucas Guest.
Good evening. You know, you could say pretty much anything you want up here. I guess they assume that if you're the valedictorian, you'll have something profound or inspiring to say. I'll let you be the judge of that. A lot of graduation speeches begin with advice, usually something polished, inspiring, the kind of thing that sounds good embroidered on a pillow. Follow your dreams, never give up, reach for the stars. I thought about doing that, but it felt a little dishonest to stand up here and offer certainty when I'm still figuring things out for myself. I'm standing at the same crossroads as everyone else here. For years, we worked towards moments like this. We spend countless hours studying, practicing, rehearsing, competing, applying, stressing, all to get here, trying to answer questions that suddenly feel very important. What are you going to do? Where are you going? Who are you going to become? As if any of us are ever finished becoming. Somewhere along the way, I think many of us start believing that we're supposed to have the answers. But the more I've lived, the more suspicious I've grown of certainty. Not necessarily because certainty is bad, but because curiosity and wonder are better. I've always tried to look at the world like a poet. Not exactly in the sense of writing poems, but in the sense of noticing things. Because poets understand something that the rest of us often forget. Life isn't made of milestones. It's made of moments. To a poet's observant eyes, the beauty of this life is in the little things. It's the earthy smell of rain before a storm, the timeless song of a bird singing somewhere in the distance, the smile when a familiar song plays on the radio, a joke you've heard 100 times that somehow still makes you laugh, a conversation that lasts less than an hour but stays with you for years. The things that seem ordinary while they're happening. These are the things that become your life. For those of us who took physics, shout out to Mr. Poyer, light is a pretty cool example. Most of the time, we hardly think about it. It's just there. Constant, familiar, you flip a switch and you don't have to think about it anymore. But the more you study it, the stranger it becomes. It's a wave and a particle. It's the thing that lets us see the universe, that travels faster than we could possibly comprehend. It defines our understanding of space-time, yet somehow plays by its own rules. It's predictable enough to build entire civilizations around, but one of the most mysterious things we've ever observed. Simple and impossibly complicated. The more you look at it, the more you realize there are layers that you never noticed before. They remind you how much there always is left to understand. I think life is a little like that. Meaning isn't always in the obvious places. Sometimes it's learning to look closer at what was there all along. In other words, joy lies in finding the light and depth in the everyday, and realizing that the ordinary things were never ordinary to begin with. Sometimes I think that's easier to understand when you're away from everything for a little while. Away from the routines and deadlines and notifications. Maybe for you it's sitting around a campfire with friends, or relaxing on the beach, or up on a mountaintop. Maybe it's just lying down staring at the stars. One of those quiet moments where the world finally slows down enough for you to notice it. And when you look up at the night sky, it's hard not to feel small. The universe is unimaginably vast. Entire galaxies drift through space completely unaware that any of us exist. But I've never found that depressing. If anything, I find it comforting. Because it reminds me that life was never about being important to the universe. It's about being important to each other. It's about being the light for each other. Because in the grand scheme of the universe, we are the little things. So are the moments that shape us. And that doesn't diminish our lives. It makes them precious. Smiles, laughs, simple acts of kindness. The cosmos may not notice these things, but we do. And that's enough. For a long time, being valedictorian was a goal of mine. I think it came from a quiet drive for perfection. But I think in achieving it, I've learned something different, something that I wish I saw all along. Standing here now, I finally understand that perfection really wasn't the point. Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for the honor. But when I reflect on these last 4 years, I don't think about grades at all. Deep conversations, inside jokes, teachers who changed the way I look at the world, friends who made it worth coming back every day. The moments that seem small at the time, these are the things that stay with me. And I know some of you had been eagerly counting down the days until you walked out of Ballston High School for the last time. And honestly, fair enough, but maybe it wasn't all bad. Like for some of us, we leave with a love of learning, a desire to understand, a wonder for how the world works. And I think everyone here is leaving with some kind of persistence. That's how you got here. These are the things you will carry with you far beyond this stage. Think about who you were when we started freshman year. Think of who's about to walk out of this park with a diploma now. That growth, that change, that means something. It didn't happen all at once. It happened in thousands of tiny moments. Exciting, embarrassing, stressful, wonderful, most of them ordinary. Somehow, together, they become a story. And that's your story. Think about the little moments that got you through it. Seriously, take a second. Think of something. Not necessarily your biggest achievement, not the thing that looks best on your resume, just a real moment. I really hope your mind isn't going blank. Maybe there's a friend making you laugh so hard you couldn't breathe, or a teacher who made the day a little more bearable. Maybe it's a class you loved that you didn't expect to. Maybe there's not any one specific memory. Maybe it's just the feeling you can't quite put into words. For me, I think of ice cream at Stewart's, a haunted hotel, giggles in world history, backstage tears, study hall debates that should never be repeated, or adventures among the trees that only make sense to the people that were there. I think of a lunch group that felt more like a family than a table. I even think of the 9 million different times Nick Sharp kicked my chair during Algebra 2. Hold on to that. Take that thought and treasure it. And that's not to say you should dwell in what will soon be your past, but cherish these moments and let them shape the way you see the world moving forward. Because years from now, when all of this feels distant, those are the things you'll remember even when they blur together. Not the numbers, not the sports stats, not the rankings or the tests, the moments, the people. These shape how you remember all of this. If you learn nothing else in 4 years, I hope you learn something about yourself. And if you remember nothing else from 4 years, I hope you remember the little things. Because if you did high school right, that's what mattered. And while we're here, it's worth saying thank you to the people who made those moments possible. To the family who have had your back. To the teachers who showed up every day to put up with us with a smile. To the friends who made it worth showing up every day. To everyone who helped write this chapter of our story, thank you. And while I have the microphone, on a more personal note, to everyone among you I've been lucky enough to get to call a true friend. You know who you are, especially the Flag Squad, the Lar Trinity, and of course, long live the Moose Group. Thanks for enough laughs and smiles and memories to overfill this amphitheater tenfold. And to my own family, Mom, Dad, you've instilled in me a curiosity and a love of learning I will carry for life. You've shown me what kindness looks like. In doing so, you've set me up for success in the purest way possible, by teaching me what it means to be a good man. And to my sister, Gianna, well, you are my pillar, without whom I cannot stand. I am proud to be your brother. Thank you. Now, before I hand the podium off to let you receive the yearly wisdom of Mr. Furneaux, I suppose I should leave you with some last words of final advice. Not as your valedictorian, not as your class president, but hopefully as your friend. So here it is. Always be yourself. Never take yourself too seriously. And pay attention. Notice things. Notice people. Notice what excites you, what moves you, what inspires you. Notice the beauty hiding in places everyone else walks past. You don't need to have your entire future figured out tonight. You don't need all the answers. Remember this. We romanticize the stars, but they only shine because the dark makes them visible. You just need the willingness to move toward the darkness, to welcome the unknown. You need the wonder to keep learning, to keep growing, to keep being surprised. Life is way stranger, more complicated, and so much more beautiful than any of us realize when we're rushing through it. So if there's one thing I hope we carry with us after tonight, it's the ability to keep seeing the world, not just as it is, but as something worth paying attention to. So pay attention to the people around you, to the places you find yourself, to the everyday things that make you feel alive. Because life is not made of milestones. It's made of moments. The dawning of the rest of our lives is tonight. Tonight marks the end of something important, and also the beginning of countless stories that have not been written yet. And if the last 4 years have taught us anything, it's that some of the best parts of the story are the parts nobody could have predicted. Thank you for being a part of mine. Congratulations, class of 2026. I'd now like to introduce our Board of Education President, Mr. Jason Furneaux.
Good afternoon. Graduates, it is an honor to be here to celebrate your achievement. Graduating from high school takes hard work, paying attention, and showing up. It also takes the support of many others, and I want to recognize how important the support has been of parents, guardians, caregivers, grandparents, and other family members, and your teachers, coaches, and advisors in guiding you to this day. I'm going to share 3 topics that I hope you will keep in mind in your future. The 3 topics are what you know, what you believe, and being kind. I will leave being kind for last, as it is the most important. There is a difference between what you know and what you believe. Let me make this difference a little clearer. An example of what you know is gravity. Objects drop. Absent propulsion or a lack of gravity, they fall. Graduates, you knew this before you could even read and write. You learned this from probably the greatest educational tool ever invented, the swing set. None of you ever jumped off that swing and just kept going up, up, up into the sky. No, you fell. Gravity. That is something you know, no argument. Now, something you believe is a little more complicated. My best explanation of something you believe is the example of crossing a street at an intersection. You are at the crosswalk, and a car is approaching. There is a stop sign or a red light. You have the right of way. And you believe that that car is going to stop. But what do? I bet you probably exercise a bit of caution and wait to make sure that the car will really stop. And here is where we get into how strongly do you believe, and how people in general, and probably rightly so, are very different in their beliefs and their strength of their beliefs. Here is where my own particular invention, the belief-o-meter, comes in. The belief-o-meter measures the strength of your belief. Picture a dial with an arrow, and if you believe strongly, the arrow is way over here. If you only believe a little bit, the arrow is probably over here. Back to crossing the street. You really don't know if that car is going to stop. Now, some of you strongly believe that car will stop. You boldly step right out while the car is still coming, just starting to slow down. The belief-o-meter is over here. Some of you are not so trusting. You only believe a little bit or not at all, and the belief-o-meter way over here. You need to see that car stop fully before you step off of that sidewalk. So you all have different measures on the belief-o-meter. My point is, when you make decisions or take actions based on your beliefs, please be conscious of and be aware of the strength of your belief. Picture the belief-o-meter. Being bold, being cautious, there are times and places for both. When faced with an important decision or an important action, you can't know. Think about where that red arrow is and how strong is your belief. If it is really important, please make sure the strength of your belief matches the decision that you make or the action that you take. Now to the most important topic, being kind. This entire year, in front of various audiences, I have talked about kindness. The best source of what kindness looks like is Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers. Fred Rogers was the creator and host of an educational TV show for preschoolers called Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood that aired on public television for 33 years. When Fred Rogers saw a child making bad choices or acting in a hurtful or negative way, he said he always wondered what was going on in that child's life. What forces inhabited and surrounded that child that brought the child to that moment? And quite simply, that is 100% what kindness is. Being able to wonder and recognize that everyone has a different background, a different set of forces within and without that are within that person's control and outside of that person's control, and that's what makes them who they are. I challenge you, when faced with people who have different behaviors or different preferences or different interests than you do, to not immediately dismiss or judge, but to wonder, what makes that person tick and how did they get there? If you can recognize and most importantly, respect difference and individuality, then how can you do anything but be kind in response? Fred Rogers said, "There is something of yourself that you leave at every meeting with another person. Please honor that responsibility. Being kind costs you nothing." I share all this because acting out of kindness is pretty much a belief, something you think. There is a universal kindness beliefometer. The arrow is just about here, straight up. What I hope, what I plead to all of you graduates is that as you go forward, being faced with the different, and then make decisions and actions, that when you leave something of yourself to others, that you act in a manner that shifts the universal kindness beliefometer a little bit forward, that makes us all believe that people really can be and are kind. To conclude, whatever your future holds, make sure it makes you a better person, and make sure it makes those around you better people. Please have compassion in your heart for others and make good choices. Congratulations on your achievement.
And now our superintendent, Dr. Duca.
Good afternoon, parents, caregivers, members of the Board of Education, staff, and most importantly, graduates. It is a true honor for me to stand before the class of 2026, one of my favorite days of the year. Today marks the culmination of the time, effort, and dedication you have invested in earning a meaningful diploma, a foundation for everything you will achieve next. As you prepare to leave Ballston Spa High School, I want to reflect on 3 pillars that will define your success as you navigate the opportunities and uncertainties of our world: leadership capacity, the power of listening, and the necessity of consistency. So we'll start with the capacity to lead. Leadership is not about a title. It's about how you handle yourself in times of adversity. Each of you has the capacity to lead, but the capacity is only realized when you embrace the challenges life brings. Do not avoid or run from difficulty. In your daily lives, this might mean being the first to offer a solution during a difficult project at work, or standing up for a colleague or friend who isn't being heard. Cultivate leadership by taking ownership of the small decisions and showing up for others when it matters most. Seek out challenges, for it is through them that we grow and discover our true passions. Leadership is doing what you think is right, even when it's not easy. Second, the power of listening. Our district motto, educating everyone takes everyone. This philosophy reminds us that the greatest goals are rarely achieved in isolation. To succeed, you must value the perspectives of those around you. Active listening is the bridge that spans the gap between differing viewpoints, allowing us to find common ground even when we disagree. By listening to understand rather than just to respond, you foster an environment where collaboration thrives and innovation is possible. In a world of noise, distinguish yourself by not letting opinions take the place of facts. By truly listening, you set yourself apart and contribute to making the world a better place. And finally, the value of consistency. Your journey does not end today. It is just the start of a lifelong learning journey. Achieving your long-term goals requires you to consistently be there every single day. When you face the inevitable setbacks, employ the non-zero-day strategy. Commit to doing at least one small thing, no matter how minor, that moves you towards your goal. This ensures your momentum never fully stops. Whether you are continuing your education, entering the workforce, or pursuing a passion, remember that positive change and personal growth are the results of persistent effort. Think about how your choices today will affect the future you and those in your community. I know I speak for the entire district when I say that we're incredibly proud of every graduate sitting here today. We have enjoyed watching you grow, and we are confident that you will use this foundation you built here to make a difference in the world. Congratulations to the class of 2026.
And now, up next is our principal, Mr. Robinson.
Thanks, Lucas. Thank you, Lucas. We would also like to thank our student pit for supplying us with the music today, and Mr. Walter Thiem for conducting. I would like to personally thank our administrative team for working to put on this event, Perry Ann Rule for helping with so many logistics to make today possible, and finally, Ms. Deb Carminati, who has worked on her final commencement ceremony this year as she's retiring in a couple of days. I've said you got to talk to Ms. Carminati 1,000 times this past week, so I'm going to miss saying that, Deb. Over the next couple months, people are going to give you a ton of advice. As you do the graduation party circuit, you will hear plenty of old folk telling you stories about their time in high school, what they did in college. You'll have some people give you advice about how to survive the next couple years. Well, I hate to break it to you, I'm about to do the same thing. Here's the best advice I can give you. Do the boring things well. Be a good employee. To be a good employee, a good student, and a good person requires you to do seemingly boring things every day. When I talk to freshmen each year, I explain that passing high school isn't difficult. You really have to do 2 things: show up and listen to the adults. The secret isn't some flashy piece of advice. It's basic and boring. Show up and listen. We'll teach you. Being truly great requires a little more, but we'll get to that later. Life after high school is no different. So I'm going to discuss some boring rules to be good. Then I'm going to add one more rule to take you from good to great. Or in Nick's words, how to occasionally shift from 80 to 20. I was paying attention, Nick. So I'm a big movie fan. I watch a lot of movies, and so I watch a lot of interviews with movie people. Tom Hanks, one of the biggest movie stars of all time, quick poll. Graduates, raise your hand if you know who Tom Hanks is. Okay, thank you. I got a little nervous. He had an interview where he said you need 3 things to be good at your craft. He said, quote, be on time, know your lines, and bring an idea. What I love about film, like any art form, the best versions of it speak to us in the real world. I think we can all point to moments in movies that have impacted us in one way or another. So, Tom Hanks' advice. First, be on time. Do this every day. If you are at your place of employment, class, lecture hall, or wherever you're supposed to be there on time. Every day. Doing this will make you what we call reliable. And being reliable is a quality that this world needs more people to be. Anybody can do anything occasionally, but doing something consistently is what separates people. It might seem like a low bar, but showing up on time every day can be hard. It's that tricky everyday part. You will have days that you simply don't want to go to work. You don't want to do it. Your bed will be very warm and very comfortable. Or the sun is out and you'd rather go to the pool that day. Or you're on your way to school and you're driving past Dunkin' Donuts and you just really need that pink drink. It's just a couple minutes late to school. What's the big deal? Right now, habits like this seem relatively easy because you have a parent, a guardian, a loved one, or somebody who's pushing you. But moving forward, when you're in your dorm or apartment by yourself, it can be hard to get going. If a roommate has decided to linger for a little longer, it can be easy to join them. The trick here is to get on your feet and start your morning routine. Push through that moment of, but I really don't want to. Once your feet hit the floor and you get out of bed, you can start getting ready on time. It's discipline 101. But discipline is a habit that needs to be built. Instead of stopping by for the drink or taking 10 extra minutes in the shower, push yourself to do the hard things push yourself to do the hard things and not the things that just feel good. It might feel good in the moment to swing by for a coffee, but future you will regret it. So use your next handful of years to start that habit. You'd be surprised how important this is to an employer or a professor. Being the person they can count on is an invaluable trait both in the professional world and in your personal life. Next, know your lines. Know what you're supposed to accomplish that day. Don't get up on time, show up to work, then look at your boss or teacher and go, now what? You need to attack each day. Even if there are small tasks to accomplish, have a list of tasks and complete them. Literally, walk in with a physical or mental list of what needs to get done. If every day you accomplish something, then in a week, a month, a year, you have accomplished a lot. There's a thought experiment called the Ship of Theseus. The experiment starts with the premise that you are on an old wooden ship sailing across the ocean. Slowly, you must start replacing the boards in the ship, then the wheel, then the sails, and eventually, as you make your journey across the ocean, you have replaced every part of the ship. The question is it the same ship? To me, the answer is kind of. It's a better version of the old ship. Now, maybe I'm cheating a little, but that's how I view the knowing your lines part of this advice. If you attack each day and accomplish what you're supposed to each day, then long term, you can make a real impact. You are somebody that gets things done. How great does it feel to walk away from a day knowing you've completed something? So for those of you paying attention, Tom Hanks has said you need to be reliable and a hardworking individual. The final piece of advice was bring an idea. It's difficult to bring new ideas to the table. The idea might be bad. You might get made fun of. You might even fail. Or they can make a real impact. And personally, I find it fun to get creative. The beauty of this is if you bring an idea to the table and discuss it with your supervisor, you have demonstrated that you care enough to make things better. You have demonstrated critical thinking skills. You are willing to take risks. Now, of course, there's a time and place. If it's your first day at the job at McDonald's and you come in, walk over to your manager and go, what about hot dogs? They're probably going to tell you to go clean the bathroom. However, after you've earned some credibility by being on time and accomplishing a lot of little things, maybe you approach your supervisor with an idea that you believe will make things a little more efficient around here. People want problem solvers, not problem finders. And if you're able to make your place of work a little better, then everybody is happy. The same thing goes for the classroom. If you show up next year to your English 101 class every day, complete all the assignments, you're a good student. Now, if you just ask one question a day, just one question, guess what happens? That professor will learn your name out of a lecture hall of 100 to 150 kids, and you've shown her that you care about the content. Even better, you might actually learn something extra. So to recap, to be good, you must be on time, know your task for the day, and bring an idea. Now, what does it take to be great? Okay, all of you graduates, raise your hand as high as you can. Good, now hold it there. On the count of 3, raise it a little higher. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Put them down. That's what it takes. A little extra. To be great or to set yourself apart, you need to do the things we have talked about a little more. Be early instead of on time. Complete tasks every day, but with positivity and a smile. And take time to have extra conversations with people in charge or spend some time and swing by the office of your professor to discuss the lecture from that day. And you just all demonstrated that you can do it. You're capable. I asked you to raise your hand as high as you could, and then you went a little more. It's all a mind game. Trust yourself. You can go a little farther. You can stretch a little more. It's okay to be a little uncomfortable. You can do great things. And we know you're capable of all these things. Why? Because you're here. I know I tell freshmen that it's easy to pass high school, but that's not totally true. There are uncomfortable moments. There are difficult times. There are moments that will make you feel like staying in bed or giving up, but don't. And you didn't. You did it. You spent the last 4 years working hard and working at what we asked you to do. You replaced every board on the ship, and now you're ready for the next journey. Now carry that momentum into the next phase of your life, whatever it is. I know you can. We know you can. And when you complete whatever your next little difficult task is, just remember, it's a great day to be a Scotty. Thank you. At this time, we will take a moment to recognize the memorial seat that is left empty to represent those who could not be here today to share the day. Ms. McTiernan, please have the first row of students ready to receive their diplomas.
CJ Adams. Matthew Adams. Matthew Ahern. Grace All. Tyler Allen. Haley Alling. Sam Amodio. Cheyenne Arpey. Matthew Bailey. Joanna Baker. Rance Ballard. Alana Bard. Ella Barchis. Hazel Beatty. Allison Beauregard. Alexandra Beck. Emily Bernardchuk. Abraham Bahati. Taquan Bitka. Randy Booley. McKaylee Bowen. CJ Brierly. Kara Broderson. Josephine Broomfield. Logan Bruder. Chloe Renee Bruno. Rory Brust. Mia Butler. Charlie Campbell. Brittany Canoni. Gabrielle Kerrigan. Kane Carrion. Brody Carroll. Ava Kazaza. Mariah Kearley. Douglas Chamberlain. Garrett Chapman. William Chapman. Lila Charlebois. Bryant Chen. Kaylee Sherabin. Annabelle Chrysler. Luca Cheverdoni. Ava Sima. Justin Clark. Asa Coleman. Jack Cowan. Camden Kramer. Alexa Cushing. Brody Dahl. Zoe Datka. Kelsey Davenport. Lily Day. Karina DeCenzo. Jothaniel Dohoyes. Gwyneth Deininger. Angel De Jesus. Madeline Del Gercio. James DiLorenzo. Amelia DeLuke. Samuel Demerit.
Reese Dewey. Molly Dolan. Juliette Dowen. Mary Grace Driver. Isaiah Dubuque. Christopher Duclos. Emma Durant. Cooper Eldridge. Emma Ewan. Glenn Usick. Evan Farrar. Aaron Fernandez. Henry Fetterman. Stephen Figueroa. Haley Fitzgerald. Miles Fluchet. Jacob Flynn. Stephen Federa. Torrin Fordley. Jonathan Forster. Ella Francis. Lillian Frederick. Ellie Freer. Joseph Gabriel. Catherine Pearl Garand. Anthony Gentilomo. Brooke Gilboy. Rochelle Gillette. Jaden Destiny Green. Thomas Gregory. Caleb Groves. Mackenzie Grugan. Kyla Guineri. Lucas Guest. Giada Gulati. Ajane Guzman. Shai Guzman Andreas. Lyra Leona Hall. Aiden Hanna. Noah Harmon. Sophia Horn. Amalia Hostetter. Jameson Hotailing. Haley Hudson. Adia Hunter. Eliana Hunter. Ella Hunter. Emily High. Justin Inyard. Malcolm Ives. Lucas Jacobs. Levi Jenkins. Trevor Jewett. Hayden Judge. John Christian Caldy. Kaya Katz. Skylar Kahani. Kira Keefe. Jack Kernan. Connor King. Gwen Cloping.
Kaylee Koning. Jared Condonar. Brandon Corrido. Catherine Kovach. Audrey Kramer. Aaron Kramer. Caitlin Krasnicki. Leah Kuan. Eric Lake. Mason Lang. Leanna Latham. Keegan Lewis. Krista Lincoln. Dylan Lofink. Megan Loomis. Alex Lopez. Lunnery Gutierrez Lopez. Natalie Lucia. Danny Lugo. Eric Lumley. Paige Lundeen. Spencer Mancini. Roman Mangino. Nora Mannion. Sonia Mankus. Jocelyn Manning. Adora Mashaw. Henrik Matheson. Bryn May. Anna McEwen. Gavin McNulty. Riley Mercado. Carson Messina. Erica Miller. Vivian Mitchell. Shane Philip Mulholland. Nathan Molina. Vincent Momro. Cameron Morales. Lila Morrill. Adriel Mount. Zachary Mox. Liliana Moya Martinez. Tina Marie Mullins. William Miles. Adam Nagengast. Lillian Newell. Michael Nettinger. Aiden Noyes. Ava Monet Nunn. Natasha Obaleski. William J. O'Connor. Wyatt Older. Yazdiel Ortiz Gonzalez. Asher Ovaheska. Jacob Otten. Angus Page.
Nicholas Parlapiano. Sean Pausley. Marvin Peavy. Tyler Perkins. Victoria Peralt. Connor Peters. Mira Petrucco. Declan Phillips. Ava Pachati. Abigail Pitts. Jackson Pouliot. Jonathan Priest. Shannon Marie Priest. Logan Purcell. Lakota Kylie Rafter. Joseph Michael Ramsey Jr. Colin Storms Reed. Alex Regester. Isabel Rivera. Isabella Roberts. Cadence Roberts. Andrew Rodriguez. Olivia Rose. Vincent Rossetti. Elizabeth Ryan. Sophia Sachi. Ariana Sajad. Anirelise Santiago. Jace Santiago. Avery Santoro. Madison Sawyer. Vincent Schobel. Nina Squalia. Nicholas Sharp. Timothy Sikoriak. Nicholas Syracuse. Julian Slezak. Kaylee Slipper. Miles Smith. Olivia Smith. Catherine Sokolowitz. Maddie Sparks. Sophia Sfera. Anthony Stallman. Gabriella Stumfel. Molly J. Taylor. Jacob Thomas. Virginia Thomas. Harrison Trexler. Lauren Tribley. Bryce Tui. Charlotte Valerio. Annalise Vermette. Zachary Wagner. Chloe Waite. Nola Waring. Daniel Weed. Ella Weller Zembo. Faith Welsh. Gavin Whipple. Brianna Williams. Micah Williams. Riley Winters. Shane Wood. Ethan Wren. Alexander Yelanimi. Margaret Zito.
Graduates, please stand. Please join Class President Lucas Guest and move your tassels from the right to the left. I present to you the Class of 2026.